like you said, it's the first episode. You know what I mean? And we'll be touching on a lot of different stuff. You know, we both have a background in counseling.
Yeah.
And we've been married for 13, almost 14 years.
14 years.
14 years of marriage. We've been together for about 18 though.
About 18 years.
Because we've been together since high school. So I think we know a little bit about relationships, about ups and downs, marriage, things of that nature. And then ultimately we've allowed God in our life.
That's right.
Through
That's
a biblical worldview, which helps navigate this thing even better.
That's
So
right.
today and every other show, besides this one, we're going to be talking about these different things. We'll have different topics, things that people want to get interested in. We hope that all of you start to email us. We'll be posting our email in our description. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, so on and so forth. And just get the word out. We want to have
I
other
agree.
couples.
Definitely
We like to have
wanna
other
share
couples on too.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. So what you want to talk about tonight?
So I think I want to talk about building the foundation of a healthy and strong marriage.
Okay.
I think it's very important that we speak on these topics because in today's society, marriage is not really pushed. It's kind of looked at as, an obligation instead of being honorable, like the scriptures say. So when it comes to building a foundationally strong marriage, what advice would you give couples out there that are kind of searching and wanting to make that commitment, but because of the social norms, they are afraid?
Yeah, in today's society, you got these, everybody wants to be a coach or a counselor or a content creator, digital creator, whatever the case may be. And that's all fine and dandy. That's what people want to do with their life and things of that nature. But also you have to look at, marriage is something that you're not an expert in. We're not experts in marriage.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? We've married however long, 4 kids. We're still not an expert in marriage. We're in our mid to late 30s now and been together since our teens. And we still got a ways to go.
That's true.
This podcast is basically just giving insight to what we go through, what we struggle with. In order for us to tell somebody else to build a strong foundation, we have to continue to work on ours. And that's what this podcast is. You know what I'm saying? We ain't acting like we got it all. We're not going to be the coming off as being the all-knowing. We're gonna have other couples on the show, Lord's will, that's been in relationships longer than we have, more children than we have, more ups and downs than we have, so that people can learn from everyone and their experiences. But the foundation has to be God first and foremost. The Bible talks about Christ being that foundation, that chief cornerstone. So we're trying to build our marriage on that and what the word says, and then as we continue to go through our trials and tribulations, we continue to improve. You think our marriage is strong?
I think it's definitely strong. I feel like you have to go through ups and downs in a marriage, go through your trials, overcome those trials, learn from those trials, and just kind of build upon those things and not make the same mistakes that we did in the past. Because we learned a lot with being a young married couple, young parents. We had to really, really learn. And I think that it's important when we come into knowledge of self, knowing who we are, understanding what the Bible says about marriage. I think that's very important. I think about the time when we first, got married up until now, and it's completely different. Like you have to relearn each other in Christ because there are obligations, there are requirements that are required of us by God. So we have to make sure that we are pleasing the Lord in the things that we're doing. So as a wife, I know sisters hate that word submission, but it's very important coming into being married, want to respect your marriage. We have to learn to put on that submissive and be humble and understand that we don't know everything.
We had our first child, our oldest daughter, when I was 19.
Yeah.
And you was 21.
21.
We was kids.
We were children.
We didn't know what we was doing.
At all.
We was eating I said Roman. We've been eating ramen.
Right. We
Top ramen. Ramen noodles. and balling on a budget. You get a Pell Grant, you thought you was balling. I was a sophomore in college. And you was a junior, I think.
Yeah.
You was a junior in college. And even then it was sacrificing.
It was.
Because I had to keep playing ball. That was my dream. But you gave up running track.
Yeah.
Which was your dream.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? We was sacrifices that had to be made.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And young men and young women don't realize that we had to actually be in the fire and go through it. Luckily, we got married. That's the thing about it. A lot of people probably got the same story in the sense that they had kids at a young age like we did, and were in a relationship at that time thinking it was going to be hunky-dory, thinking everything was going to work out.
That's true.
But in actuality, in all reality, there's no guarantee that you're going to get married, and you know, you hope so, but life has a way of lifing.
That's true.
And, you know, all praise to the Most High. Luckily, God was with us through those ups and downs, and, you know, we was able to eventually get married.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And because I think we got married when I was 22.
22.
That was my going into my senior
Going
in
into your
college.
senior in college.
And you were 24, I think.
24.
Yeah. So we got married at the courthouse.
We did.
Right. Ain't no wrong getting married at the courthouse.
Nothing wrong with it.
Stop worrying about getting married at the courthouse. You don't need no big wedding all the time.
You don't need it.
Shoot.
Save that money.
For real. We were broke.
We was broke.
Remember Nia Daycare right across the street
Right
from the
across the street.
apartment?
We used to walk,
Used to walk over there every morning. You go work at the
apartment community.
No. First, I think you was working at the dealership first.
I was working.
You was working at a call center.
I was.
And you quit. And I said, what in the world? I seen the red Impala. We had a red Impala. And I wasn't driving. You were driving. I was already home. And I see you come home. It was like 3:00 in the afternoon. I said, what you doing?
I was done with it.
What you doing back so early? That call center lasted what?
A week, maybe.
A week? You got up out of there. But
maybe
then,
a week.
But then you found that job. I was mad as hell too.
Yeah, you were.
You found that job. You found that job working at the car dealership.
I did.
And that big old dog that used to fart all the time.
Oh my!
What was his name? Max.
Yeah.
He was a bull mastiff. He was like 287
he
pounds.
Was huge, yeah.
And he walked through the dealership farting all the time. I remember one time you called me.
I was upset.
Somebody threw up in the bathroom.
And I had to clean it up. I won't.
So I'm the receptionist.
I almost quit that day.
I'm the receptionist. I ain't no janitor. Oh man, I had talked you off the ledge.
Yeah,
we made it through it though.
We made it through it.
We made it through it.
We definitely did. Did.
Yeah, we did. And then that was some good time. We made it work. Taco Bueno's right across the street. We talking about Norman, Oklahoma, y'all. For those that don't know,
Oklahoma.
I was playing college basketball at the University of Oklahoma, and Baylor and our oldest daughter Sanaya moved.
We did
from Mississippi that summer.
Yeah.
No, actually, I stole y'all.
You did.
Let me tell you what happened.
Yeah.
So
tell us the story.
You came to visit.
I did come to visit
in like November. That's back when we were celebrating the worldly holidays.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You came to visit Thanksgiving for our little Thanksgiving tournament that we had.
True.
And
you said we were never going back.
I said y'all ain't going back.
Yep. Never going back.
But my family didn't know that I bought y'all a one-way ticket.
Yeah, it was one-way.
I ain't tell nobody.
Yeah.
I said, look, I'm gonna get y'all a ticket. Y'all don't come up. So I did tell them you was coming. So you gonna get to see your baby. Everybody was excited.
Yeah.
Until Thanksgiving break was over, and you was still in Oklahoma.
Oh, y'all, she's still there. What's she doing there?
Hey, remember grandmama was mad. She's like, hold up now.
She was.
Is y'all shacking up?
Yeah, she was.
That was November. Married. And then after the season, we got married in May. I think in May that year.
We did.
So we went ahead and got married.
We did. We
were doing our thing. We got married though.
Yeah, we definitely did. It was, it was an adjustment because, I mean, like I said, you don't have a class on how to be a wife,
For real, though.
You don't have a class on that. It's like, hey, we in this together. Back then, we didn't have the commandments. We didn't know what to do, but we knew that we wanted to be together and we knew that we wanted to build a family unit.
Good thing about your mama and your grandmama, they taught you how to cook.
They did.
Because it wouldn't work if you couldn't cook. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Oh, you would have got another ticket and sent me back. Okay.
I would have got the round trip. No, I'm kidding. But you stepped your game up.
Well, you gotta learn different.
We used to eat. What we used to eat? We used to eat we ate out. Everybody ate out when we were in college.
For sure.
But you started out like making like the baked chicken, cabbage, stuff like the basic stuff, cornbread, Mississippi food. There you go. For those of you that don't know. We live in North Carolina now, but we originally from Mississippi.
Yep.
And Mississippi food is, it's not the most healthy.
It's not.
It's not the most healthy.
No.
But nonetheless, it got me through college.
It did.
It got me through college, and I think that's because my metabolism was high because I was young.
Yeah.
And a full-time athlete. Well, I would have had a waistband for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh my! You remember living in France, and we literally was.
When we live in France.
After college.
What year was that?
This was 2013.
2013. Yep.
2013. Literally after the game because there was no fast food like that. So I would have to come home and cook. And we was eating fried chicken and
and French
at like
fries.
2 a.m. after the game because nothing was open.
That's true.
But the food wasn't it wasn't bad like how it is in America.
One thing I did learn in Europe is that the food is not preserved in the sense
like
that they don't have as much toxins. Like for instance, in America, you know how it is. Food can be in boxes and
that's true.
Be somewhere stocked for months. It ain't like that in Europe.
No, it goes bad. It'll go bad.
Remember that time we bought them chicken wings and they had feathers in it?
Oh,
I said, I ain't eating that. I'm so American. What the hell?
Right.
I said, I ain't eating that. It had feathers in it. I wasn't expecting that. But I do remember that. Remember, I had just learned we weren't supposed to eat pork. I had just learned we was not supposed to eat pork. And I said, you know what? I ain't eating no more pork. And then somebody made me some pork.
There's a story behind this.
Okay. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it.
Somebody made pork for me.
And
it had like all the juices and collard greens. So I get home after practice. I got pork chop and all that stuff like that. So I said, I'm going to smash this deal with it. I know I ain't supposed to eat it, but I'm hungry. I just got done practicing. So my laptop, I just got that laptop too. I'm pissed right now. I'm thinking about it. I'm still mad. A brand new MacBook.
It was
2012 or 13 or whatever it was.
Yeah, brand new.
And it was right there on my right-hand side.
It was.
And Mariah was about 4 months old, 5 months old, man. She was crying. I said, you know what, let me grab. So I grabbed her. I leaned to go grab her. And that whole plate of pork chop with all them juice and everything fell on my laptop.
Yeah. It was bad. It didn't work.
Fell on my laptop and destroyed it. I was pissed.
It was of the Lord.
It was of the Lord. Shouldn't have been eating no pork.
Shouldn't have been eating it.
I ain't know no better.
No, we didn't. But that was a process because we was learning ourselves within, those first couple years of being married. Like we learned a lot.
Yeah.
We grew a lot. And I think coming back, it was a process as well, but we learned each other spiritually. And I think that's important just to kind of go back on the topic of the foundation of marriage. You have to learn your partner. I think that's very important. What do you think about that?
I like the way you lean up on that mic though. Back up a little bit.
Okay.
I've been nervous.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, just be comfortable. Okay. Just speak. Yeah, speak. Direct your speak. I'm training you up as we go.
I love this. I'm
trying to get you right.
I'm
you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to show you the way.
You're the pro. I'm just here.
I did kind of graduate college with a
you did
major in broadcasting.
You did.
I do kind of know what I'm the early stages of marriage, the early years of marriage, you really do learn each other. You do. Now, it depends on what lifestyle you're coming out of too.
Yeah, that's true.
On how you look at marriage. Because if your mother and father weren't married, or if you've never seen positive role models in marriage, it does affect your outlook.
It does.
So you start looking for the negative as soon as you get married. As soon as you get married, you're already looking at about how it won't work.
That's true.
You listen to your friends and family who may not even have ever been in a committed relationship or have ever been married, and they tell you, don't do this, and I wouldn't let him say that to me, or I wouldn't let her do this, and if I was married, I wouldn't. And them the people you got to tune out. For those of you that are newly married, and you got family and friends that want to be involved in your marriage, the worst thing you can do is let people in that circle and try to tell you how to run your marriage. And they have no idea what they're talking about. And they're not experienced. And just because they got divorced or just because they had issues in marriage and they trying to bring you down and project their shortcomings on you, them the people you can't listen to. It don't even matter if it's your mama.
That's true.
It don't even matter if it's your daddy. It don't matter. They can't project what they went through in their marriage on you. That's true. As if your husband gonna be like that or your wife gonna be like that. And that's what you see happening. Some people family give the worst advice at times.
They do.
And sometimes it's people that don't know you that give you the best advice.
That's true.
The people that you come across in life and you just talking to them and they just like, yeah, man, you might not want to do this because they don't have no agenda.
That's true.
In most cases, they don't really know you. But them people that know you, sometimes they not the best for you.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to tune them out. So if you early in marriage, y'all just got married, you and your husband or you and your wife, be mindful who you take advice from.
That's right.
Let's know them by their fruits. Christ said that. You got to know people by their fruits.
That's right.
If they really men and women of God, and if they really committed to marriage, regardless of what they may have gone through in times past, they was able to work it out and endure, on to the time to where they got today.
Yeah.
A wise man once said, if a man lived to be 60 or 70 and he's been married for 30 or 40 years, you might want to listen to him. He kind of know what he's talking about.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But a person that's been divorced 4, 5, 6 times, just because you have done swung the bat 10 times, don't mean that you understand what I'm saying. You know what you're talking about. You know, you got to look at a person's success rate.
That's right.
And the most successful marriages is the one that even though they go through their ups and downs, they still able to endure it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So these new brothers, new sisters, new people that's getting married, you know, be mindful who you are. Be mindful who you take advice from.
That's right.
You don't know what agenda they got.
Exactly.
The Bible tell you that too.
Yeah.
You don't know what agenda a man may have when he counsel you.
That's right.
You know? So what you want to get out of this podcast? Like, what you want the people to learn from these sit downs, these conversations?
So from this podcast, first of all, I want to speak to, if I may, I know we're dealing with marriage, but I really want to speak to the women.
Talk your talk, sis.
And to the sisters, to let them know that submission is not the end all of, you know, this, whatever this perception of it is, you know, pick me's and all those different things. I am very happy. You see this over here? You know, I'm very honored to be married to, you know, to my Lord. Marriage is an honorable thing. I think we have to come back to the basics and understand what our role is. But you have these different psychiatrists and doctors and all these worldly people who have never been married,
right?
Who have never had a successful relationship, speaking on a success rate.
Right.
They cannot tell you. They're giving horrible advice with no experience. It's like the equivalent of going to a brain surgeon who's never done an operation, right? They may be educated like in the book sense, but there is no experience behind it.
Right.
I'm not going. Right. You know, I want somebody that has years and has a successful success rate before I allow them to operate on me. Same thing with marriage. It's such an honorable thing. We can't just let anybody in. So I say that to the women and to the sisters, follow your Lord as he follows Christ. Be his helpmeet. Don't be his stress meat. Right.
Okay, I get you.
You know,
we rhyme on that.
I might need to.
Hey, you made a good point with that analogy that you made about the brain surgeon. Because the reason I say that is, if me and you, say I had to have brain surgery or vice versa, God forbid, say you had to have brain surgery, and they bring this guy in talking about how he's a valedictorian of his school. I said, okay, that's real good. He got good grades, but you know what's his track record? What is his experience? He's not operating on my baby.
Right.
He's not operating on my wife. Your life on the line. I'm gonna let this his first time. No, I'm good. I'm good.
That's true.
You wouldn't even let a barber cut your hair.
No, you wouldn't.
Whoever cut you up, for real.
You know, and that's true. That's true. And I think that if we take on that mentality of how serious marriage is, because people just get married just for, you know, financial whatever gain and all of these different things without really understanding the significance of it. When you try to bring forth a family unit, it's very important because your children see that.
Right.
And you're setting the example for their marriage. Like on what type of wife they're going to be.
Yep.
Are they going to try to strive to be that Proverbs 31 woman, or are they going to strive to be a Jezebel? And what you see in society is a whole bunch of Jezebels running around.
And they watching.
Them
kids.
Yeah.
They watching for sure. They watching how you react.
They are.
When your husband corrects you.
Yep.
They watching how you react. When you have to do something that you say, for instance, you told your kids you was going to do something. Daddy come there and shut it down. Like, no, we can't do that. You didn't think. You just promised them or told them we're going to do it. Daddy come through and said, no, that's not feasible. We can't do that. Financially, we can't do it, or whatever the case. So I had different plans. And the way you react, because kids watch you.
Yeah.
The way you react is the way that they're going to learn how to react when they're older.
That's true.
Right. You know, a lot of women would do that. They would promise the kids things and say, we're going to do this and say, we're going to do that. I know you've done that before. But then the father comes through and be like, nah, we not. We can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And she don't know how to handle it in that moment. She like, well, should I buck against it because I made all these plans? That goes back to always making sure that you speak to your husband.
That's right.
About certain things before you start telling other people that you're going to do it.
That's right.
It's just like taking a job.
Yeah.
A woman wants to take a new job and it's great financially and it's going to be beneficial for the marriage and the household. But, you know, how do you know that your husband don't want you at home?
That's true.
Taking care of the house. Like you getting off at 5 or 6 o'clock now, whereas he used to having his lunch or dinner or whatever at a certain time because he's remote or he work at home or he do, I don't know, whatever.
Right.
and you're not able to fulfill that no more. You know, he needs to know that my wife plans to change her schedule.
That's right.
Because that's also his schedule.
That's right.
He's got on a routine. So when things like that happen, and then the husband comes to us like, nah, you can't do that. Yeah. You may be disappointed, let down, but the reason you're disappointed, let down, is because you didn't even actually speak to him and give him time to look at the pros and cons of it in the first place. And that's where you see marriages mess up all the time.
All the time.
The communication barrier is trash.
That's right.
And the Bible calls communication a sacrifice.
It is.
It's a sacrifice to communicate.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is on point for sure.
I like what you touched on when you spoke on, you know, women jumping out there without seeking, you know, counsel from their lords. It's very important that we do that.
Yeah.
You know, who is more qualified as the protector? It's the man. I'm not about to go out there and fight no 6 foot, you know, man or whatever the situation is. But as women, there is a perception of the single women. She got it. She got on. She can be independent until danger arises. And it's like, okay, we looking for that man. And a lot of times sisters stray away from that. They could be married, but they still have that single woman mentality. Like, I can do this. I got this. You know, when he's away or when, you know, something is, you know, I feel like I could do it and he's going to be okay with it. No, you still have to speak to your Lord, speak to your husband about it, because you are his possession.
Yeah.
I think I stepped on some toes with that one.
Uh-oh.
You know?
Wait a minute. He owned you. How dare you say he owned you? Only Jesus owned you, sister.
You own your car.
Right. You got paperwork on it.
You got paperwork on it.
The hell it is.
Right. So at the end of the day, when you, like I said, when you come into renewing your mind and letting go of that worldly mindset and you focusing on building the unity of marriage, those things don't affect you.
You know what they're going to say? They're going to say, I was with you until you said you was his possession. And then they're going to fall off. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Because you speaking to the spirit.
Yeah.
When we doing these podcasts, when we talking about marriages and how to, you know, deal right in marriage, we speaking to the spirit within our people that want to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And some of them gonna buck and not like some of the things that are being said, but everything that's being said come from the Bible.
It does.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It ain't us just making it up as we go.
Right.
You know, now you said something. I'm gonna read a scripture real quick. This is in the Apocrypha. I know most Christians don't read that, but this is in the Apocrypha. This is Sirach 36, verse 23, because you mentioned about a possession. Verse 24, it says, I'm gonna start at 22. It said, the beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. So beautify yourself. That's basically what the Bible said. Beautify yourself, look good, like you looking. You understand? To entice your husband. He needs to be enticed by your beauty, but not negatively, right? For good.
Yes, sir.
Verse 23, if there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men.
Right.
So how a woman talks to her man. That's what the Bible telling you. How a woman talks to her man, he makes him different from other men.
That's true.
If your wife is dealing with you with kindness and comfort, like it says, if kindness, meekness, and comfort be in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men.
Wow.
That brother different.
He different.
He moved different. He think different because he got a woman at home that's moving with, that's giving him that confidence, that comfort, that kindness that he needs.
That's right.
But verse 24 is where it gets a little heavy.
That's right.
Verse 24, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. When Eve went to the serpent and learned what she learned and brought it back to her husband, she was not being a pillar of rest.
Right. That's true.
She became a pillar of stress, because after that happened, immediately Adam blamed her, even though he was the one that was supposed to take the initiative and take the forefront.
Right.
But he wasn't deceived. It was her that was deceived and was in the transgression. Right. But then he followed her. So God said, no, you ain't getting away, because you the man I left you in charge.
That's right.
So that's what it means when he that getteth a possession or he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, a pillar of rest. Watch this, verse 25. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled. And he that have no wife will wander up and down mourning. So men need women and women need men.
That's right.
But the Bible says if that woman has no hedge, she's spoiled as a possession. She needs a protector.
She does.
She needs somebody to guide her. She needs somebody to tell her, whoa, calm down. The scriptures say this.
That's right.
You can't move like that. You can't talk like that. You can't act like that.
Yeah.
You understand? And more and more of our women are starting to come around to it, and vice versa. More and more of our men are starting to take that role as lordship, as the Bible says a man is supposed to be.
That's right.